Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the wonderful world of NFTs. We're going to take a deep dive, more of a superficial swim or a snorkel, if you will, into the technology behind this, but also the practical implications of this technology and how it just might change the world. So, what on earth are NFTs? Well, this could just be the most exciting revolution in the internet since social media. Today I'm going to give you a brief rundown of this technology that's going to transform our digital lives. It's being touted as the next big thing, and with good reason. This is the next frontier of the internet, Web 3.0. If you've ever wished that you could have gone back in time and be the one who had created Amazon or Facebook, if you recognize the importance of being an early adopter, right now is the time to educate yourself on the world of NFTs. To be honest, it's already started hitting mainstream, so you're not going to be the earliest adopter just yet. But this market has grown rapidly over the past 3 or 4 years, and if you want to ride the wave of this massive opportunity, right now is the time. To be clear, this is just an introduction, and if this intrigues you, I strongly recommend you take the time to learn more about this, because there's a massive community online that is more than willing to share, so get stuck in. As this is a new technology, I thought I'd find out from people what they understand about NFTs. So I thought I'd ask a random cross-section of the people in my flat about what they think NFTs are. Hi, excuse me, do you know what an NFT is?
A what?
An NFT?
National Football League?
No, it's an NFT, it's a type of technology.
Don't know. National Football Team? No, I don't know.
Hi, do you know what an NFT is?
NFT? No idea, mate.
It's a type of technology? Try again.
Newfound technology?
No, that's
Oh,
not
sorry,
what it is.
mate. Never mind.
Alright, don't worry. Thanks, you weirdo. So as you can see from my rather extensive market research, absolutely no one knows what NFTs are. To figure out what an NFT is, let's first do a quick run through of the technology it relies on, the blockchain. The key concept here is trust. Now this can get pretty complicated, so I'm not going to go into the real details here, and there's plenty of videos that do a better job of that. I'm going to talk about this in brief terms so that you can understand the concepts behind it. Right now, if you were to save up some money, you might keep that at home in your wallet, and you might keep the rest in your bank account. When it sits in your bank account, it's not a physical entity, but rather a digital record that you have that exact amount of money, along with the ability to access this at any time. At present, if this is in one bank account, this digital record is literally stored on your own bank's servers. It's on a computer that they run, and it keeps a record of all of their customers' money and their transactions. At present, we trust the big banks to keep an accurate record of the bank account transactions and our current balance. If I accumulated £1 million in savings, I trust them not to turn around one day and say now it's only worth £1,000 and they've lost all the record of my transactions. I do trust my bank right now. But what's to say tomorrow a federal agency or a government legally coerces my bank to change that number? However, if everyone had an open copy that is independently verifiable, then I don't need to trust my bank and whoever might manipulate them. Another problem with your money or data stored in one place is if your bank goes offline, then you lose your entire record. The difference with the blockchain is that this digital record, or ledger, is not held by one bank or one person. Instead, it is copied on thousands of different computers that each keep track of your records. I and anyone else who is holding this digital record can show proof of all the transactions, and if any one of them is manipulated, I can tell. I won't go into all of the details of this, but this is the chain part of the blockchain. Let me try and find another way of explaining this. I'm going to try and use a Harry Potter analogy here, so just go along with me for a minute. Think about Horcruxes. The idea being that instead of storing your soul in one place where it could be destroyed, it's safer to split it into multiple places. And it's the exact same concept for the blockchain. Instead of keeping your record in one place, it's copied in thousands of places, each of which are constantly checking that they are in sync. This makes it much harder to lose, because if one of the copies, one of the Horcruxes, is destroyed, there's still another copy elsewhere. So that's the basic concept of the blockchain for cryptocurrency. It's also safer to store your data, but it also means that it's not just kept with the big banks, and we refer to this as being decentralized. And this has more benefits of its own. It means that one or two big banks or even governments can't manipulate your data or your money. Now that we've talked about how cryptocurrency works on the blockchain, let's talk about NFTs, which also use the blockchain. Firstly, it stands for non-fungible token. This means that it's unique and there's not anything else like it. This is different to cryptocurrency and cash, which you can trade and break down into smaller bits. If you had a £5 note, this could be changed for another, as there are so many in circulation. It could also be broken into 5 £1 coins. But an NFT cannot be swapped or split in this way, as it is unique and non-fungible. It can't be broken down. Now, what exactly is an NFT? Well, it could be anything digital, a drawing for example. And the technology behind the NFT puts a digital certificate of authenticity to this drawing. It incorporates the trust that is inherent in the blockchain. Let's take an example. Here I've made a digital drawing. Now, I've made this and it's unique. Up until now, I couldn't assign a value to this digital drawing very easily. I could sell a print of this, but there's not much of an option to sell the rights to the drawing itself. The NFT, however, allows you to use the technology to apply a monetary value to the drawing to allow it to be sold. Now, this is just one application of the NFT. The next question is, why would anyone want to buy something that is readily available online and that can be viewed online and copied and pasted just as easily? The most often quoted example to explain this is the Mona Lisa painting. There's only one version of the original Mona Lisa, and we, as a culture, assign a high value to this original. That's why it's often considered the most popular painting in the world. It's why it draws the biggest crowds at the Louvre. It's iconic. Now, if you think about it, there are plenty of copies of the Mona Lisa. You can even buy a copy of it from the gift shop in the Louvre. It comes on mousepads, mugs, t-shirts, anything. But there's only one original Mona Lisa, and it is this original that holds the true value, probably in the order of hundreds of millions of pounds. Now think of this concept for digital artwork. The technology behind NFTs allows us to assign value to digital assets. So what exactly is a digital asset? A digital piece of art might make sense, right? But what about a photo, or a GIF, or a tweet, or even a YouTube video? Do these count as digital assets too? The answer is yes to all of these. People often buy photos, right? And you could blow that up and you could put it on your wall at home. But what about a photo that's not exactly a piece of art? You might have seen this photo. It shows a cute kid with an almost evil smirk, with a house on fire in the background. It did the rounds online in 2008 and became a meme known as Disaster Girl. But what if someone could buy the rights to this meme? Is that even possible? It absolutely is, and this was sold for $500,000 earlier this month. Now let's take the example of a tweet. Jack Dorsey, the CEO and founder of Twitter, posted his very first tweet in 2006. You might not think much of this. It's just a tweet, and people post millions of tweets every day. But some people hold this, the very first tweet, in high regard. And so he sold this as an NFT in an auction for the value of $2.9 million. And you might be thinking that's a ridiculous amount of money for a tweet. And you'd be right. But some lucky millionaire now owns this seminal piece of digital culture. Another recent example of this is for the GIF for Nyan Cat. This is it. It's a cat that has the body of a Pop-Tart leaving a trail of rainbows. It became a viral meme in 2011. And sure, it's cool, but what if you assigned it a value? What if you could buy the rights to this meme? Well, someone did. It sold for a massive 300 Ether. This is a digital currency, a bit like Bitcoin. And it sold this year at an auction, and at the time it was equivalent to around $600,000. So yes, a GIF can also be sold as an NFT. Essentially anything in the digital realm can have an NFT applied to it to give it a certificate of authenticity and therefore be sold. Now, if you're still struggling to understand why anyone would pay this much for a digital asset, then think back to real-world art. People buy art and they may put this up in their house, or maybe they'd keep this in storage as an asset. So this is much the same. But instead of sticking up a screenshot of your tweet on a TV at home when your guests come around, you could view this on someone's digital art gallery, a website where you could view people's digital assets, their NFTs. You might still ask yourself, why? Why would anyone do this? Well, because it's an asset and people have money to invest. Whereas baby boomers might have invested in the stock market or maybe in buying traditional art, Generation Z is much more likely to invest in things that appeal to them, which is often in the digital world. So people are choosing to invest in digital assets, whether that's cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum, or in digital assets using NFTs. And collectible culture is huge. A good example of this is playing card culture, like sports cards or Pokemon cards. NFTs are a natural extension of this, but in the digital world. Now, just to show how serious this is becoming, the NBA has fully embraced this by selling digital collectibles called Top Shots. So you can buy the rights to a video of your favorite basketball player scoring. And this is generating huge revenue, over $500 million so far. And this is only going to accelerate. And it's absolutely going to translate into other sports. So one day you might be able to own the rights to Johnny Wilkinson's match-winning dropkick from the Rugby World Cup, or maybe Ronaldo's extra-time free-kick equaliser in the World Cup against Spain. So everything I've talked about so far is based on the digital asset of the NFT, but arguably what's even more significant is the smart contract associated with this. Let me give you another example of this. The serial entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk recently launched VeeFriends, a bunch of collectible digital characters with human characteristics that he values. He recently sold these in an auction format so that people could buy a sympathetic squid, for example. On the face of it, this is just a digital collectible, a piece of art by an entrepreneur that was assigned a value based on an auction. But it's not only that. The smart contract aspect of this card, this NFT, gives you a 3-year access pass to his annual conference, which he's calling V-Conference. So if you were to buy one of these NFTs, you would not only own the digital card itself, you have a ticket to his conference for 3 years. And let me tell you that he is an absolute genius, and I'll explain why. He's maximizing the benefits of the NFT by capitalizing on this smart contract, rather than just the collectible asset itself. And he's demonstrating how valuable NFTs can be. Imagine if Beyoncé was to launch a new album next year and sell tickets to her worldwide tour. Instead of just selling a ticket on its own, she could sell each ticket as an NFT. The beauty of this is that she attaches more to the value of this than just a ticket to enter the concert. She could also attach a bonus song so that only people who own the NFT could access this. Or maybe a documentary if you buy a gold ticket, or maybe a Zoom call with her if you bought a platinum ticket. The value for Beyoncé is that she can charge way more for this experience and get that money directly in her pocket rather than through some agency. The value for the consumer, the Beyoncé fan, is that they have the chance to actually get the bonus track or actually speak to her. For another example, imagine Barcelona sold their tickets as NFTs and Lionel Messi scored a hat-trick or some incredible goal in a cup final. That in itself would become a piece of history, but anyone who attended the match also has a piece of history themselves in that NFT ticket. They could then sell on this ticket, potentially at a high value, because someone else might value that ticket itself because of Messi's performance. And this leads me to the next most significant aspect of the NFT. Within that smart contract, you can establish a clause that means the original seller gets a percentage of any future resale forever. To go back to the previous example, Gary V will make 10% of the resale of any of his VeeFriends in perpetuity. For example, if Beyoncé was to sell a ticket or access to her album as an NFT, every time someone sells that onwards, she could get a 10% cut. So the potential benefits for the creator, the artist, the author is massive. Remember, the benefit of the blockchain technology is that it cuts out the middleman. And that's exactly what NFTs do. So an artist or an author could sell access to their future projects and continue to make money from the sales forever. And this is a massive improvement on the current system, where artists often have the rights to their book or music controlled by a publisher or record label. This gives the power back to the creator. So that's my roundup. I hope this video has given you an idea of what NFTs are, and hopefully that will intrigue you to find out a bit more about them. Be in no doubt that this is the future of the internet, and it will begin to shape your interactions in innumerable ways in future. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and remember to hit like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you next time. See ya!